You went live? Okay. I think that intro gets shorter every season.
It just might. Good God, man. It feels like it's been 2 months.
It is.
What the fuck was that? And I lost Jess. I'm sure he'll be back here in just a minute. Jess doing his best Hulk Hogan impression, I guess. And
Sorry
he's
about
back.
that. I had to get a new shirt. Something happened. The other one exploded. I don't know.
You could have gave me a little heads up, a little warning, something.
Did I even know?
That's scary. I don't know. But anyways,
well, it has felt like a long time, but we are still on our monthly show.
Yeah.
We're on the monthly. We got a great one.
Sounds really bad.
It does. It does, but I'm not even going to comment there. It's July, barely left, but there's no perfect month, in my opinion, than July to do the Return of the Living Dead franchise, because the first one takes place over the 4th. So that was my theory on it.
In Louisville?
Oh gosh, you're going to be in trouble.
What?
It's not even Louisville. It's Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Now we've got a Kentucky native here who's going to disagree with you, and it took me months to pronounce it correctly.
Well, let's bring him on.
And I was just down there. Well, let's quickly say hi before we bring him on to who's here. We got Blu-rays, of course.
What's up, Blu-rays?
Lovely animator for the channel. Kory from Smores Indoors. Can't wait until the Horror Rumble invades S'mores Indoors. Heck yeah, we'll go ahead and tell that now. Next month, we will be over on the S'mores Indoors podcast channel right here on YouTube doing a special episode. So,
do you want to announce what the episode is, or do you just want to wait?
They'll just have to wait for that. We'll leave some sort of surprise. But if you haven't, go check out the channel S'mores Indoors and subscribe, and a lot of great stuff over there. And
Jess may or may not be shirtless for that episode. So.
it's a rare case.
Shoot it at your own risk.
I don't know what happened. Daniel Schein. We know that was a mistake. Oh, Jay the Stingray. Hello.
What's up, Jay?
Unfortunately, he's not able to join us this evening, but always glad you stopped by, brother. And Mr. Ben Grimm, Jess been working out. I don't know about that, but thank you for noticing. Billy Bean.
Billy Bean.
He don't like surprises. All right, and on that note, let's bring these mofos of the panel in, these entrants. Let's get this rumble started.
All right.
I think. First, we have the lovely Flesh Wound Features, Dan Schein.
What's up, Jess? Roiding out already. What the hell was that?
I don't know. Somebody put something in my milkshake.
That's going to end up getting clipped for sure.
I was worried about that. Showing my nipples.
Joe Bob falls out of the chair. That's going to be Jess Graham hulking out.
Well, thank you as always for coming.
One day we
we
need to
got-
get a compilation of all these things and just
That'll be
do
the
one
intros.
video.
Yes.
Oh, my hair.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck was that? I was looking down and then you're like tearing your shirt off. Destroying your shirt.
I don't know. It's the drugs. Our good buddy from the Slaughterport channel, Mr. Jake, coming on.
Hello, gentlemen. Kory
Okay.
doesn't know how to pronounce Louisville, and that's okay.
He said
You
it's
heard it?
okay.
Did you? No.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. I'm telling you how to say it now for the future. It's Louisville. Okay.
Louisville.
No.
See, that's even worse. That's what I'm saying. That's not even saying Louisville. He's saying Louisville.
The words.
I mean,
It's Louisville.
you got to put a ball in your mouth, and you got to go
Mhm.
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, I don't put balls in my mouth.
No, you just it's
That
one
might
of
be a
those
Kentucky
things.
thing, but we don't do that here in Iowa.
Whoa. You're going to lose our
Damn.
panelists.
It's a rumble, damn it.
It's Rumble and how to fucking correctly pronounce the city's name.
I don't think Iowans or Kentuckians are okay with balls in the mouth, in fairness.
I prefer to be called an Iowegian.
That's
It's Iowans, right?
Call this Iowanites. It's Iowan.
Oh, okay. I thought Iowan.
You were right, Dan.
There you go. It's like you guys and Seth Rollins. I think that's like the only thing Iowa is known for.
John Wayne.
Damn.
Oh, I could give you a whole list. And Mark Twain once said of our hometown's summer sunsets that he has been to basically this. I'm paraphrasing now. Each side of the ocean and the land, and he has never seen a more beautiful, perfect sunset than here in our town in Iowa. And he imagines that these sunrises are just as beautiful, but he has never seen those.
You had to go back that far, Jess. Give me something recent. Mark fucking Twain. Come on. Seth Rollins.
Seth
and Becky
Rollins
Lynch now.
been
by
here.
marriage.
Jason
Yeah.
Momoa.
He from Iowa?
Yep.
Yeah,
Ah.
I think he lives in
Brandon
Hawaii
Routh?
now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Brandon
shit.
Routh.
Who's the dude?
Brandon Routh, I mean.
Who's the dude that played in the little Lord of the Rings movies?
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, he lives here
Yeah.
too.
He was born a day after me in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, okay.
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. Well, that's we claim him only certain days.
Who's-
Isn't Donna
Booth,
Reed from
by the way.
Iowa?
Donna Reed, Cloris Leachman, I think, was either born here or lived here for a little bit in her childhood.
The guy who invented Veggie Tales is from Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is, but cool.
I don't either. I read
What?
it somewhere.
Max
Come on.
Collins, Road to
That-
Perdition,
Yeah, VeggieTales, you are a little bit too old for that.
Herbert Hoover.
Jess, we still got one more guest.
Oh, I'm
He's
so
he's
sorry.
waiting so patiently.
It's learning some Iowan history.
But not
Good.
least, our good friend from the Off the Grill podcast, Steak Sauce.
It's Sunday night and the lights are on bright. We got a rumble or not, Michael.
Tear that one too.
I only have so
You
many.
better be
shirts.
careful. Mrs. Channel might come down and whoop your ass for tearing all your shirts.
I think she's been waiting for that other one to just be thrown away that I did tear up.
He wants an excuse to binge on Fright Rags. He's just gonna tear them all up.
Oh. Yes. Billy doesn't know that the Canadian wildfires has made beautiful sunsets. You can't see the sun from the sun.
No.
It does affect the colors. We've had some red suns from those wildfires, even down here to Iowa.
Very red sun.
It was a haze. One day I was coming out of the Flash movie, and I thought, oh, my eyes, the fogginess. Cleaned my glasses, it was still foggy.
That's a zombie storyline there. Canadian zombies might be interesting.
I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
a comedy with Canadians?
Yeah, they're like polite zombies, maybe.
I got some funny fuckers that come out of Canada.
Yeah. Get Rick Moranis back. Might be fun.
What is this off the grill thing you speak of? Billy Bean.
Well, I think what he's referring to is a London-based podcast called Off Ye Grill.
Oh,
Cliff
okay.
Cliff Booth. Now, I didn't expect that out of you.
No, he's not being rude. That's just true.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, and this is not just defending Iowa, this is defending all.
I'm not
Wonderful
saying
states.
Iowa's boring. The Cherokee word for boring is Iowa. That's real.
Iowa is Indian or American Indian name itself. The Iowa Indians.
You need to do a video on like the Iowa nightlife and prove everybody wrong.
I mean, what do you want? I mean, just like in every state in modern times, if you go certain places, you're gonna have the same shit unless if it's a tourist,
Go
You're
clubbing.
gonna have clubs, you're gonna have
it's
bars,
six-
you're gonna have
It's 6 dairy cows and a bottle of fucking corn mash.
we're gonna go live from Amish country one of these days, Kory.
Hey, that reminds me. You know what today is?
Huh.
Today marks the 2-year anniversary of our trip to the Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
That is
Okay.
correct. Oh, I wish I had the clip to bring up, but I don't.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But
There you go.
hey, it was a great time. Got to play catch with our sons, and not physically picking our sons up and throwing them back and forth, but actually playing catch with the baseball.
Did you tell them like the spirits of like homicidal baseball players are in the fields? And
My son's a little too old to fall for that
Oh.
one, but
see, I would have just like told them that and then like beeline to the car and drove off. Just I can see them, but just watch them freak out a little bit. It's fun.
And
hey,
it's
Billy, what
high-grade
about
meth.
us?
High grade meth. On that note. Well, we're here for a reason. Doesn't seem like that, but a movie franchise that I think we all love, at least a good chunk of it. Return of the Living Dead. Shall we start the first movie?
Yes, let's.
That's a gorgeous poster. Who wants to argue that?
It is.
I've seen better.
It's no subspecies 4, guys. Calm down.
Got that right, damn it.
They both have a lot of boobs, though. So there's that.
Oh, this guy. That's where we lose a few viewers, is when we actually go to talk about the subject. Should we go back to talking about meth in Iowa?
I don't think of Iowa as a drug state. I think you're okay.
Honestly, when I was a younger lad, our hometown, I think, and this is nothing I'm proud of, was on at one time the list of highest drug per capita.
Oh,
place.
well,
Oh, just
I take
tell
it
them the
back then.
name.
No.
That just
Just
means
tell them
that
the name.
all of the drugs were well taken care of and they were put on high places. No, nothing was in a child's reach or Jake's.
Damn. Jess Graham is Heisenberg.
I'm not. Let's make that clear. Not a fan of that
Let's
one.
make that clear. I was a low-level thug. I was not the brains of the operation.
He was the enforcer. He just,
Yes.
some car batteries to testicles every once in a while. It's, if people got out of line.
Well, you
Moved
can't
in
have
on
people
his
getting out of line,
territory.
Schein.
It's true. I don't.
There are many
But-
different methods you can
But
use.
Return of the Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead. Kory, somebody you want to start?
I am not a zombie guy. I'm going to start with this. That being said, I don't hate this movie. I don't hate the franchise. It's just I'm not a zombie guy, and it takes a lot to really get me into any particular movie. I will openly admit though that while I am not a huge fan of what's her tush, help me out, Dan.
Linnea Quigley.
Yes.
Linnea-
I'll bite your
Quigley.
fucking nose off.
Yeah,
Hold on,
especially-
hold on.
Show some respect.
Hold on a second.
He's right.
While I am not a huge fan of some of her other movies that she's been in, at least when I say I'm not a huge fan, I'm not a huge fan of seeing her naked. I was shocked as to how much nudity she had in this movie.
Just about
And
every
it's
movie
good.
around that time.
I-
was gonna say.
Hey, if her hair wasn't
I forget the. I mean, she looks fantastic in this movie.
from
and
the
she
neck
plays
down
the role
in
well.
this movie, yes, she looks fantastic.
Come on now.
What's
That
wrong
is,
with
she,
it?
looks
I'm
pretty-
hey, I'm saying she's got a hell of a body. It's just
I want to know what's wrong with the hair.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just not digging the hair. It's not my thing.
Well, I like it. It's a statement.
Yeah, but you don't have any hair,
Yeah.
so
It's not a statement. It's a way of
He
life.
did. I'm more of a Brink Stevens guy in terms of looks, but
She was in my backyard.
I'm not hating on Linnea. I mean, the Return of the Living Dead might be the top 2 or 3 most iconic nude scenes in movies.
Yeah,
Like in movies.
that's pretty fair.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Phoebe Cates has her beat.
yeah.
I'll
Sonny
agree with you
Sharon's
on that.
phone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, no, I mean, Return of the Living Dead is horror and humor, very hard to hit that perfect tone. And I think that did. I think that's part of the legacy. It's an impossible movie to remake, and we'll probably talk about that with a lot of the sequels because I don't think you can recreate it. It's so distinct, and you have character actors. I mean, James Karen, Don Calfa. You
Yeah.
cannot replace those guys. Clu Gulager, of
No.
course. You can't replace those guys. They are just so distinct that anything Return of the Living Dead that we may get in the future now, which apparently is happening, it's not going to be the same no matter
Not
what.
at all.
It's just impossible to recreate that perfect blend. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest horror comedies ever. It's way up at the top of that list if I were to rank movies, and quite impressive because I mean, like the pedigree there with the Romero trilogy, which some people like to connect them. You had 3 classic films at that point. You would kind of expect there to be a decline, and there wasn't. I mean, they managed to do it again, and the movies, had a very interesting history, of course, coming out same year as Day of the Dead, and there was kind of that zombie boom at that point, and yeah, I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about it, but I think it is a stone cold classic. If you haven't seen it out there, which surprisingly there are people that haven't, you need to. It's a perfect film in my opinion.
I don't know if there's much more to say on this first movie than what Dan just said. He damn near got it all perfect.
well,
It
let's
is.
try.
Well, let's try. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you when I first watched this because as a kid, I surprisingly didn't like zombie movies like I do now or when I got older. So I think I saw this on TV and didn't really think too much about it, but revisited it probably 20 years ago and fell in love. And then had to go out and rent its sequels, and we'll talk about them. But yeah, loved them damn near the same, or at least the first couple.
Maybe that's my problem with at least with these movies, or at least this first one, is I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a horror comedy or if it was just
It's horror with really good comedy written into it, as a good horror with comedy should have. I think it is horror first, but
like I
But
said,
it's so
I don't
fucking
hate the
funny,
movie.
too.
I can sit down and watch the movie. The movie's fine. It's just Zombies
than
have never
fine.
been my thing.
Even back then, I mean, I know people are zombied out now because you've had, 6, I think, Walking Dead spinoffs, and it's just been a barrage since 2010. It's been nonstop. But really back then, though, because like zombie stuff was few and far between there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but let's get Jake's take on this.
Jake from Louisville.
Oh yeah. This movie sucks ass. No, I'm just fucking. I want to stake to lose his mind. No, I'm just fucking with
I about
Yeah.
No, Dan, I think, kind of said everything to be said. But to Kory's point about not being in a zombies movie, I don't really even look at this movie as a zombie movie because of everything else going on. Like Dan mentioned, all the great character actors. They kind of make this movie, and the soundtrack fucking rocks. And yeah, I like James Cameron through 1 and 2. He's my favorite character in both of them. Bert and Ed. I fucking love him in this movie. So, but yeah,
I
solid.
think you nailed it there. It's the zombies, like any really good zombie movies, are kind of secondary to the story that's going on with the main characters, and that's what really keeps your interest. And you kind of said it too, Dan. It's the actors, the characters that were written, how they play it.
Yeah, the whole thing could have fallen apart without those actors. I mean, the dog bit and everything that could come off as stupid in less talented hands for sure.
Very much so. Saucy.
I've never seen this one. I mean, there's not a whole lot for me to cover here, from I don't know, just kind of like the big basic points on this. But this movie, from the first time I watched it, I was just captivated. It has never left my mind entirely for any amount of time. And I mean, we're going on 15, 16 years now from the first time I saw it. I saw the sequel many, many years before that. We'll get into that, I guess, in a little while. But so I never knew this movie existed because I thought the sequel was a standalone movie that was just a fucking, a horror comedy and a spoof. It's like, get it, Return Part 2. It's over the top fucking wacky. And then you watch that movie.
So like Leonard
get into it. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get there. But so I didn't know this existed. I happened upon it. It was on the movie channel. It just happened to be something probably in October, I guess, that they had thrown on there along with Children of the Living Dead. And that kind of like, so like I made 2 DVR selections at the same time that have, fucking occupied similar brain space over the same amount of years, but for wildly different reasons. But everything about this movie works. Like Jake said, this soundtrack is one of my favorite as far as like songs selected to be on a CD with the fucking poster art of the movie. Nothing beats this. Like, I'm not talking about like original compositions or whatever the fuck. Like, this is hands down, the place to be for a horror soundtrack. I mean, fucking SSQ, The Cramps, Rocky Erickson,
yes,
fuck TSOL, love TSOL, Code Blue,
real punk,
yes, and that is like I had started a little bit to get into like the Misfits and Ramones and stuff, and then this movie, like the Surfin' Dead, which is by the Cramps at the end of that plays as they're trying to board up the chapel in the crematorium and all that shit. Like, so it's playing during that, and then over the end credits. So like that captivated me, and then I got in. Like, it took me on a whole journey musically as well as like it took me. It's like Tom Matthews. Like, I knew him from Jason Lives already, but like James Karen Kluge, I knew as the fucking uptight dad in my least favorite Nightmare movie at the time. Like it was like all these people and fucking Don Calfa, his eyes. Like these
His
character
whole
actors are
fucking
perfect.
look, the
Everything
delivery.
about this movie is just like a moment in time, and it's perfect. Everything caught like Klug Gulager was a last minute fucking casting. They wanted Leslie Nielsen, and as great as he is,
Wouldn't be the
the
same.
movie takes
Not for
on an
this.
entirely different tone, and I don't think anyone talks about it.
Yeah.
We're nearing 40 years, right? What is this, 38 this year?
Yeah. 85. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We're old.
I know he just totally put that in perspective. So.
It also, I mean, originally it was Toby Hooper that was going to direct it
that
too.
That
It
too. I mean,
had a
that,
lot of last minute stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, like O'Bannon getting a hold of it and going, no, we're not filming fucking any of this. I have a good idea. We'll do that because like that John. If anyone's read the book that John Russo has put out, that at least supposedly was his script, in some form or fashion for Return of the Living Dead. It ain't great. There's ideas in there that are interesting, but I don't.
No.
Listen, that dude. At the end of the day, that dude is a fucking commercial writer. Like he wasn't. He got it. He had his one fucking movie. He got the one good thing out of him, and thank God for it. But because again, without him and all those guys, the Leighton Image and I don't know, Image 10.
Image.
Image
like,
10, well, that was like
Image
the
10.
like thank God for those fucking people. Just a bunch of shit. We gotta keep the lights on somehow. Which
you might not have had any of this if it wasn't for that. So
this was something that it was lightning in a bottle. What you got, I don't know if they could even make the same film again.
You couldn't, and it was before I was brought in, but I think I don't know. I felt I was locked up in my brain. I lost it. But Christ Almighty, I did. I totally lost that.
Lightning in a bottle lost you.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I just think like a lot of the reason this movie works is just the talent of people that were making movies back then. Oh, that was the point. You couldn't make this movie today, even as like a fresh like if the old one never existed, because there aren't really actors like specifically these two.
Yeah,
Calfa. They don't have those guys really standing in wait anymore, which I think is a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. Character actors fucking make movies.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And there's just fewer and fewer really notable ones. It's either some transformative. You could put all kinds of makeup and fucking green paint on me, and I could be fucking Jackie Earl Haley or whatever the fuck. But just like all right, let me put on a shirt, and now I'm some kind of fucking greasy bank guy.
No actual, just playing an actor without any of that, being a character himself or herself.
I have a friend who has had like direct dealings, particularly with Don Calfa, and said he was like the funniest fucking guy you would ever come across.
Yeah, you can tell.
It shows through his performance.
It's talent that, again, I mean, and he did a lot, but at the same time, it's like shit. It feels like he should have done even a lot more because he was just so good. I mean, he could take even a shitty movie and elevate it a few notches just because he was so compelling to watch.
So it weakens my case, but the Doctor in part 2, I believe it was initially they had thoughts that maybe he could play it.
Yeah,
but think about because the guy that ended up playing it does a fantastic job, and I like.
He's good.
Imagine how much better it would have been if that was Calfa. Or if they had brought the whole cat. Because I've had this idea fucking essentially from the first time I've seen the movie. You bring the cast back for the second movie; they're all new characters, like they did with Matthews and Karen,
the two,
yeah.
But you do it with all of them in different fucking spots.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just said, I think that might have been a plan.
Yeah, and like that would have been a way you could play up the. I feel like we've done this before. Like,
Yeah, the
fucking make
meta.
that the entire series.
Yeah.
That would have been brilliant if they could have pulled that off.
Yeah.
Well, with that,
No.
I mean, should we just go
Hold
on
on,
to
before we
two?
get into 2, I just now that I remember, but I remember the first time I watched this, and it was later. It was like first Scarefest 2008, but I got to see it on 35 at the Kentucky Theater, so that
That would
was
have been
pretty cool.
glorious.
I wanted to add a couple of things real quick. One, you guys had made the comment that it doesn't feel like a zombie movie. And the reason why it is so much a zombie movie to me is because when Jess and I had started working on our movie, it was a zombie movie, and I was given instructions: check out these movies, watch all of them, and take some notes from those. So this was one of those movies that I was instructed to watch. So I've got that connection of it is a zombie movie because of that. 2,
Blame me again.
I'm not trying to blame you, bud, I promise. But 2, I couldn't name any of the bands, but I can tell you that I did enjoy the music throughout the entire movie. So,
Yeah, definitely top 10.
Oh, and of
Easy.
course, I've got to shout out the Jet Blackberries for Lauren.
Nice.
Product of Rochester, New York, also. So I guess it's double
Yeah.
time.
Third thing I wanted to point out was that I did like the progression of was Ed and Tom Matthews.
Bert in the first one, yeah.
Yeah, their
No,
slow
Frank
progression. Frank and
Freddie.
Freddie. Okay,
Frankenberg.
but their slow progression into turning into zombies. So that was actually interesting. So
Well, and the zombies in general at that time, I mean, 85 was interesting because when you think like most iconic zombies, I mean, you got Bub that year and Tarman.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great looking. I mean, they based the look on, I know, these Mexican mummies in particular, and I think the Bog people in the UK. Like they had very specific inspiration, and I just think the zombies came out so cool in this.
Stout's
Yeah.
artwork, all his concept art for
Yeah.
the zombie makeup and shit is so cool too. Like, like Stout is
Yeah.
a very key part to this movie. He is sorely lacking from the rest of it. Like, and not to say that the folks that came after didn't do good work, but the man again, everything in this movie was what it needed to be at the exact. There's no one better. I don't care if like you put like Savini or someone in charge. It's a different movie and it probably doesn't work, or it works
Yeah.
differently. It's everything needed to happen the way it happened. But I guess as far as just I would like to chime in on the whether it's a zombie movie, whatever, obviously it is. There's no real discretion, but like it's everything you want, man. Like it's so obviously it's a zombie movie. It's kind of like a doomsday apocalypse type movie, fucking and it's just it does have like a real downer beat through the whole thing, which I personally enjoy because that's what mostly I've experienced. So like it rings very true. But it's also kind of a Kevin Smith, like Quentin Tarantino-esque movie, in so much that it's just like it's a couple hours here. Just what's happening in Louisville, fucking on July 3rd. And like I've said to various places, like those are some of my favorite types of movies. It's just like, well, we'll spend 3 hours, at a fucking convenience store,
Day in the
course
life.
of an afternoon or whatever. Like I love that shit. It's very cool.
Because you can
And
almost
it very much
place
starts
yourself
off like
there.
that, man. It's just
Yes.
It's like okay, warehouse, end of the day, aha.
Yeah, no, they feel very, real even though exaggerated in some ways. But and again, horror and humor, it's tough because there's a lot of examples of horror comedies that have that issue where they're not particularly scary or funny.
Yeah. Mostly, I hate horror comedies.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you can kind of do it and just go full bore one way or the other and make it work sometimes. But I mean, this, like the torso zombie, when I was a kid, that was genuinely disturbing. Like, there's some disturbing shit going on there, even with all of the, hilarious shit back and forth.
Scene where they kind of surround the paramedics.
Yeah.
The paramedic closes, like, I think it's the left door, and there's just one of them waiting. The way he's just standing there freaks me out. Like, still.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he moves the
fucking
door.
turns around. There's just another one.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a horror movie. Like,
well,
some
right
people-
there, you're eliminating the people that are supposed to
Mhm.
be your last resort, your rescue, and they can't even get to you.
And they're able to just order delivery. Essentially. It's like,
So
more cops.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about the graveyard striptease. Like, I mean, obviously, most of us were all into Linnea and everything is growing up, big part of our puberty. But that scene is shot so well. Like, it's not just the nudity, it's just shot brilliantly. One of the more erotic moments in horror films. I mean, it is just a beautiful scene. And
that white bitch can dance.
The lighting,
she can.
Cinematography, choreography.
Titties don't hurt either, but yes, all masterful.
Hi, Cork. Is that
what?
Cork? No.
Oh, yeah. Quark's having a temper tantrum in the back. Yes. he's a Necropolis fan. He's just waiting for that.
Oh,
one.
good Lord. We're done, Cork. We're done.
But
I'm
ready?
sure we can go back to this because I mean, again, this first film is very important. I'm sure we'll circle around, but we might as well pop up because we started talking about.
Yeah, perfect horror film in my opinion. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Now they got rid of the Return of the Living Dead.
And then there was 2.
And then there was 2. And I wouldn't even say it like that because if there was a follow-up, now when I was going through these, like really for the first time focusing on them and into them, this one was satisfying. It was a satisfying sequel to that first one. But I think I knew that there's no way this first movie could be topped. So I was expecting a lot less than I got even Part 2. So I was happy. It was another adventure like it. Yes, it didn't have Dawn. But the other doctor guy, he played his part just fine. It was sillier, more kiddish, but it was still a brilliant time, and I think it had the essence of the first one. But again, nothing will be the first movie. I don't know.
I think one issue it has, I mean, it is very kid-like. I think you have a not particularly great lead in Michael Kenworthy, and I hate saying that because the actor's a really nice guy. I interviewed him forever ago, but I mean, again, I think it's impossible to hit the exact tone of the first one. I don't think I could do it even with unlimited money. It's just it's impossible. I think this one suffers from Ken Wiederhorn, the director / writer, who was not a horror fan, famously. Like he was not at all. And I know at one point this
Fuck
script,
Ken Wiederhorn. I'm gonna say that.
he did do some good work in his career, but yeah, he was not. I mean, he said it. He's been on record saying it. He wasn't a horror guy. And this script originally was kind of like just a ripoff. It was plagiarized from the first movie. And we got what we got. I get maybe the charm that might be there for some people. The meta stuff, I'm not going to lie, was kind of lame to me back in the day. I've kind of grown to, I don't know, live with it. But this is
What's
a
the-
huge step down. Huh?
What stuff?
The meta stuff with,
Meta stuff.
it's like the dream comment. I don't have the exact quote, but
Oh, yeah,
when they're
yeah,
in the car and it's like, it feels like we've done this before.
I thought that
I'm
was
not a
shit.
big meta guy.
So again, I think those comments work better if you have more of the cast to play off of. Like, I get that those two
Yeah.
are, like fucking brilliantly together, but
Mhm.
I mean, I guess I could see. I just enjoy it regardless, but
I'm
I'm
I get
lost in
that.
cause and biased, I guess. But
Well, I'm
It's
kind
a
of more
weird
with you, Steak.
franchise.
Dan, I mean, what would you say? I mean, aside from your feelings, if you love the third one more, I think this one touches the essence out of any of the sequels of the first one the most.
I maybe in parts, but not really.
Well, I mean,
I
none of
can't-
them do. Again, you can't touch the first
No,
one, but if you're going to, I think the second one comes the closest to it.
I think whatever comes in the future from Return of the Living Dead, I don't even really want.
nothing should come.
Well, it is because they just
Shut up,
announced it.
Dan.
And it's
They'll forget.
But-
I mean,
They'll
I'll take a
forget.
Return of the Living Dead 6, but it's got to go back
Don't-
to the roots of the first three movies. It can't have any of this. Well, we'll
I-
get to it, but
I think it's better not doing the callbacks. There's so much now, like just in Hollywood in general. It's like, oh, hey, you remember them? There they are, and that's supposed to be enough to get you excited. Like, don't try and do Tarman again. Just do your own thing. You can use
Oh,
the name.
no,
They're gonna
if you're
do
gonna
Tarman
Return of the Living
100%.
Dead, you got to do Tarman. And at this point, I mean, Tom's probably about the only one left you can bring back. Maybe some of the other kids, but I don't know. Bring Tom Matthews back.
Yeah, you
And
bring.
Go back to the real
I
tryout.
think old John Philbin is like a fucking Wish.com Tom Cruise, so why not do something with him?
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this had a lot. I mean, even the iconic score and the music being missing on the DVDs for a long time. I think there have been more fans that have come to this film since the Blu-ray, but there's a lot of weird things. Like, they were trying for a PG-13, but they couldn't quite get it, where it's like, I kind of wish they could just go back and make the R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem with a lot of horror in
yeah.
studios.
Would have helped. That is,
Yeah.
I don't. I have a hard time buying PG-13 horror. At least in modern time, obviously, because like Jaws is PG, and I mean, like now it wouldn't be anything near that. You know, like if it was re-rated today, but
you're right. If a movie's written by the writer, the artist, and it happens to be PG-13, that's fine. But when a studio says write a PG-13 horror movie, it's never worked.
No. Like, honestly, none of the Insidious films work, and I think fucking nobody dies because and nothing of any importance fucking happens because it's PG-13 and it has to have a happy ending. And who the fuck do three?
But it
people die
doesn't.
in
The first one doesn't have a
three
happy
people
ending.
die in the first four movies. Do three even die?
If you've seen the last one,
suck.
The last one, it does feel like there's no threat. They're just like, oh, look, it's Darth Maul. He's going to say boo. Like the last one, I did feel that a lot. I will defend some of the others.
I don't think I've seen the last one, but I got to admit, I honestly enjoyed the first few of those.
I've only seen the first two.
But I don't go back and watch them every year. But I do enjoy them. Oh, Ben Grimm watched part 2 before 1. He enjoys it.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
But 1 is his favorite. Well. His favorite zombie movie and soundtrack, of course.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got punk zombie figures from the album. Cool.
Easily top 10 soundtrack in horror too, which, yeah. I think you can do certain paranormal. I don't think a ghost story necessarily has to be R-rated.
No.
But
Yeah.
No, just don't write it for PG-13. If it happens to turn out that
No, like
way
if-
when you
yeah,
write a
if it-
good story, great.
yeah,
Because, like, I mean, I'm struggling off the top of my head to figure out why, like, The Fog would be rated R. Like, honestly, that's a ghost movie and could truly get away with be PG-13.
well, tiny bit of gore.
It's a great movie. It's
really.
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, like, it's, again, it's just kind of the point here. We could probably move on. PG-13 because the studio says so doesn't really work.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this wasn't. And that poster is pretty cool, even though
It's a
It rips off
fantastic
Fright
poster,
Night.
man.
I do love
they
the
ripped off
poster.
Fright Night.
They did, yeah.
Well,
But
it's
it's
a better movie
very
than Fright
cool.
Night, so it's okay.
Oh, Jay.
Hell,
I fucking hate
Is
Fright
that
Night,
it?
man.
I
Joke?
love it
I
for
don't.
different
So I
reasons.
don't hate Fright Night, but I'm not sure I disagree with Jake. I think I'm Team Jake on that one.
Damn.
That's hard for me to say. I don't really ever compare those two other than the poster. They're both great movies.
So I think just as far as this movie goes, the sister is hotter than I remembered. The last time I watched the movie, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like I used to be like, who gives a shit? Like she looks 10, and she doesn't look 10. She looks
No.
very much her age, and I'm like, since when is this a different cut? Did they change the actress? I don't like the douchebag cable guy. Suzanne Snyder's a dream. She's fucking. I wish she had her own fucking dance sequence. Is what I'm getting at here.
It was lacking
Yeah.
a dance sequence like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
A good bully
Um,
in this one too.
I was just
Billy,
gonna
I
say,
think
like,
is
for as
good.
much as like maybe the fucking blonde kid there, what's it, Michael Kenworthy,
Michael
wasn't
Kenworthy,
great.
yeah.
Who I don't think he did bad. I just don't think that hero was any like he wasn't a great character. Like it's not the kid's fault. But
Yeah.
the dude, his only role ever is this bully, this head bully. I fucking forget his name, but I think he fucking nails it. I was
Yeah.
terrified of him.
Yeah,
I
Billy.
thought he was the scariest thing in the Billy. That's right.
yeah.
Still
he is
scares
the
me.
scariest fucking thing in the movie. Well, kids are disgusting.
he's at a higher level, higher caliber of actor, I think, than Michael.
And it's a
Kenworthy
shame he
in
just
this.
quit, but I think
Yeah.
he says in the commentary for this movie that he just he grew a whole bunch right after this and just looked real weird. And so even if he wanted to, nobody would have hired him for anything.
Yeah.
He was just like a gangly basketball kid.
He could have
Yeah.
stolen Courtney Gaines' role in The Burbs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have it as a kid and you just lose it as an adult in terms of acting.
Yeah.
You see that a lot.
Andy Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid's fucking because he is the fucking Alex Vincent's terrific in those first two movies.
Yeah.
He is, and
he is awful
does.
in the Chucky series.
he does not have it anymore. It feels like an amateur actor that's just learning as he's going along.
I want to
Yeah.
blame Mancini for that. But
It's like one of the like a fucking some actress that was a baby, like the chick that was the baby in Jason Goes to Hell, trying to be an actress now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost Jake.
He loves Andy Barkley. He will not take that shit.
Piece of shit.
Well, I got two things real quick to say about this, and then we can move on if
Is
you
it?
guys want.
Yeah,
What?
I
Is
didn't know
it
that either.
is Killer Clowns PG-13 or is it one that could? Yeah,
It
well,
is.
I've still never watched that. So
Yeah.
I own it.
It's not a masterpiece, but if it's on and you got nothing else to watch, it's worth a watch.
It's no Fright Night.
Yeah, Billy.
It depends
that's dumb.
when. Like I said, a PG for
And how
that
it's
matter
used.
back in the day, not too long before Return of the Living Dead was a very different thing too.
So I always thought it was funny, like when I learned that in a PG-13 you got one fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I always it was always fun to kind of go, where is it? Oh, they said it. And there are many movies that with a PG-13 rating that have said it more than once.
Yeah.
But it was fun at first to go, that's the one, that's their one.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, is it Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox? I don't think he said the F word, but they showed boobs and it was PG.
Holy shit.
Oh,
God bless those boobs.
I haven't seen
It was
that
quick.
movie since I was like 12.
But it was,
Yeah, I don't
it wasn't a great
remember.
movie. It's not a great movie.
I
Doc
remember
Hollywood is a
Boop.
great movie. Fuck
It's
you,
not.
Jess.
It's not.
It's a great fucking movie. Fuck you,
It's a
Jess.
horrible
Go
movie.
fuck yourself, Jess.
Find somebody else here who thinks Doc Hollywood is a great movie.
Corey
It's a great fucking
shaking
movie.
like Michael J. Fox in anger at you right now.
Woody Harrelson is fucking hilarious in that movie.
The best meme, top 10 of all time, is Michael J. Fox goes to piss, ends up coming.
Oh my god.
That's just wrong.
But it's a classic. Cracks me up still.
All right, my two quick things about this movie, and then we can move on. One, I thought initially this was supposed to be, I thought it was like a soft reboot or something because of the returning actors and the similarity between with their characters. The other thing is actually a question. What happened to the other kid? There were 3 boys when the canister, or when they initially started. The main boy ends up taking off or whatever, and then so there's the bully and the other guy.
His little toady.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? I maybe I blinked and missed it, but
I think he just
I
went
think
home.
he went home and was forgotten. He gets put into a different part of the zombie uprising.
okay.
He's in a different sector. It's I
I don't
don't know
remember if
where
there was
that
any
movie was
story
filmed,
there.
but it seems like a very like quadrant off city.
Mm.
Good
Which
point.
part of Kentucky was this one in?
Yeah.
Where was this
Oh.
supposed to take place? Was it-
I don't think
they
it
say with
says.
this one. Yeah, it's somewhere that they were as they were moving tanks that one fell down.
Mhm.
But so like I don't even necessarily know that this is a different group of fucking barrels, you would think, right? if
Yeah,
there was
unless
it's
a
coming
tactical
from the
nuclear
UNITA
strike,
Mhm.
then those
medical
ones would all be
supply.
gone. So these would be different stock of barrels.
Oh yeah, because they blew him up.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
they blew up Louisville.
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 Home Depotville.
I haven't talked about 2 yet, have I?
No, you haven't.
I don't think you have.
I do like this one, not as much as the first one. Definitely tell there's a lot. It's a lot more comedy, like y'all kind of already touched on with the PG-13 thing. I will say, I like the Walmart branded Tar Man in this one. I like a lot. I like a lot of. I like a lot of the looks of the zombies in this one too, with the route they decided to go with the makeup effects and whatnot.
So
But go ahead. What?
now go ahead.
No,
I'll retort when you're finished.
no, no, I forgot.
Great value, Tar Man.
Yep, Great Value Tar Man's awesome. All right,
And you said the makeup. You like the makeup, which I do agree.
I do like the makeup a lot more. It's just, yeah, it's definitely really kiddie. I just watched it today. I'm trying to think.
I don't know if I'd say I like the makeup more than the first one, but I think it's definitely on par in its own right.
Where do you think this would be if it didn't have the Return of the Living Dead 2 name attached to it? Because I don't know if we really be talking.
I
about
don't
it.
think so because some of the stuff doesn't work, especially with
Mhm.
Tom Matthews and James
Sure.
Karen, that stuff. And that's still my favorite part of this movie is them two. I don't like really any of the other characters that much. So
I think it may not be stuffed in a sack. It'd be one of those things that's maybe shown on Svengoolie or every now and then, but we wouldn't be talking about it here and now. It wouldn't be brought up by horror groups.
Yeah, maybe Vinegar Syndrome puts it out, and it's
Mhm.
all
On
the-
4K.
Yeah,
Zombies from Town, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like it's. I'm still struggling with the way to put this correctly, but like Return of the Living Dead, it's not underrated. Like that's a stupid thing to say, but
Mm.
it is not looked upon the same way that like Halloween is, and I kind of think it needs to be.
Whoa.
Like it's I'm fucking I don't care. Fight me on it. Let's
Well,
go.
maybe to me,
You know,
maybe
but,
not
like,
on our exact top 3 rankings,
I'm
but
talking
it should
the
get
way
the
that I'm-
respect.
So what I'm saying is not so much as a like the way Hollywood or Halloween is looked at by like Hollywood or whatever is like it's a horror movie, but it's it's elevated film. Like,
Yes.
Return of the Living Dead,
Yeah.
4 is kind of rough as it is, because there's very much a punk rock element to its look as well as obviously the sound
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that shit. But like, it's just everything was perfect. It's a fucking great movie. Everything looks amazing. The writing is sound. There are no huge leaps in logic or fucking holes. And I'm giving this movie all of that to say that it is the only reason anyone talks about the 4 successive movies. Like all 4 of those would be long forgotten if they were not fucking, under that banner.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue that.
And you don't get a banner that strong, without it being a very well-made movie.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, even you're talking about the first one, even that skeleton with the special effects guy they fired
As
early on.
awful as that
Because it
fucking
is.
it works. It's fucking
This
great.
movie. Thank you. Yes, it wouldn't
There
be the
is
same
no
without it.
fucking reason. It looks stupid,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
you don't care. You're like,
No.
yes, of course it would. Why wouldn't a skeleton rise through the ground, pearly white?
So props to that guy. He got fired and he never got I don't think, work much in the business after that, but he added something special to this film too, the first film too.
This is
So,
a fucking
glad.
shit show. Yo,
It
William
was.
Stout shits on that fucking dude so well.
I know.
Like it is one of the most perfect fucking just
And it's awful.
undressing, verbal undressings ever.
God
Like
bless
when he
it.
talks about the original the fucking yellow cadaver zombie, like the way it was built, like. So if anyone hasn't seen that shit, like go like pop the DVD or Blu-ray in it and just enjoy.
The documentary, right?
And the documentary, and then it's in many of the different special features
Special feature. Okay.
too, just over the years. But yeah, like so, I would like to see that first movie get more like from the masses. Like the horror fans know what's up as far as that movie goes, but like more people in the daylight need to recognize.
That's no Doc
That being
Hollywood.
said, and it's not.
Thank God.
But like I'll be all told, 2 is still a very watchable. Like it's fun. It's not good. It's and maybe it's nostalgia. Also, I hate the effects in part 2. I really don't like any of them. Like I think someone said they're very kiddie, and it's overly so to the point where I'm like, oh, it's pretty awful. Like,
Oh, I don't think I hate them that bad.
yeah, I don't really.
I can't argue with you that they are, more. They are more.
So, like, I
kiddie. They
didn't
are-
care as much. Like when this was the only movie I knew, but
Mhm.
then seeing part 3, because I think I saw 2 and 3 before the first one.
Oh, okay.
And 3 is better, but
Should we just bring them all together?
oh, there she is. My bad.
The
Melinda Clark.
the original weird boner.
The weird.
Yeah, I think I'd give my right eye for a piece of that.
But hotter with the glass. I probably knew there was something wrong.
Surprisingly,
with me when I
yes.
was
I
like,
can't get this off.
when I first saw that, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of more into her now.
It is weird. It's
But but 3, I mean, obviously at this point, because 2 without a doubt underperformed in terms of box office and everything. So I
It
think
did
the
make
only
money.
it did, yeah, no, but it wasn't like
3
a
million.
massive hit. And I know, like for Brian Usna, who I'm a huge fan, I think they pretty much told him it was like, okay, just work Trioxin in there and just make your own movie, because this is definitely a Brian Usna movie. And I was just captivated when I first saw the trailer for this when I was a kid, and it came along at the right time. There's a few little things you can pick on in this movie, and I get that, nostalgia is a powerful drug. You can kind of look at things now and maybe pick at a few things, but I think the whole like Romeo and Juliet zombie angle, I think, was really strong here. It's a more serious movie. It's I think scary, more straightforward scary, obviously. So I can understand why some people were like, oh wow, this is just a totally different film.
Yeah, the bodega scene is really scary, but the rest of
Yeah. Riverman.
Once the zombies show up, I don't know. It's just
Some great
It does
effects.
slow down there.
Oh, the gang violence is terrifying. I mean, those people are problems.
Yeah. That's actually one of the biggest criticisms of 3. People weren't keen on those the gang in this one. But
I know, Dan, you probably weren't like old enough when it came out to realize it, but was that always kind of a problem with that, or is that like, modern glasses kind of thing?
Oddly enough, I mean, because it came out in 93, and I do remember early reviews where people bitched. Like, you can even go back, written reviews where people just, I don't know, maybe that was something they were starting to be a little more, like, in the 80s, it would have been just what it was. Like, they wouldn't have, but
like, listen, if the folks in the moment had a problem with it, by all means, bring it up.
Yeah.
You sitting here fucking 40 years later, well, let's
sure,
hit the brakes.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
I love this film. I think it's totally different from 2. I think it's a far superior movie in just about every way, but I get it. If it's the tone, you just like the second one better. But
I do.
Melinda Clarke, like, my
it's
God.
a solid sequel. It's a great what they do different works, which I don't usually say that about a lot of
sad sequels. Too, like maybe more so as young angsty kid, but I think that last shot with Kent McCord and them dying together and everything, that may not mean a lot depending what age you see it, but I saw it at the right time where it was like, holy shit, this is totally different from the other movies, and I fucking love it. I really do. This one was probably just as important to me as 1 back then. Well, I recognized 1 as the more unique and special movie in terms of horror history for sure. But I really loved 3. I was a big fanboy for 3, and I still love it. I watched the newest Blu-ray when it came out, and I'm like, can pick at a few little things, but I still think this is a damn fine horror movie.
Jess, I think I may have something just clicked in my head. Is this the same chick from Entourage?
This is and she plays herself, a version of herself. In Entourage. She's Melinda Clarke.
Yeah,
dating married to Malcolm McDowell's character.
Yeah,
who isn't Malcolm
McDowell,
but she is Melinda Clarke in Entourage as herself.
She turned down right around this same time, or right after the Xena Warrior Princess role. She's notorious.
Really
passed on that. That was hers. So depending
I
how you
would have
look
fucking I would have liked that. Like Lucy Lawless ain't bad, but Melinda Clarke's
she's great. She looks
still does
good in this. I don't think she replaces the feelings of Linnea from the first one.
Yeah.
but she's
not bad is rude. Lucy Lawless is like a 10.
Good. You're right. You're
but
right.
I don't want to be rude to the lady.
Melinda Clark is aged very well, and now J. Trevor Edmund,
All natural.
J. Trevor Edmund, the male lead, kind of looks like me now. So
He's a fat
God.
fedora guy.
he is.
Ben Grimm says she was the mom in the OC, Melinda Clark.
Yeah.
I could see. I never watched the OC, but I could believe that.
What is the OC?
California.
Mishka Barton
Yeah,
was a Fox, I believe, show about tweens. And they weren't tweens.
Yeah.
I think they were
Oh,
like
so it's
college
like
age whores.
90210.
Orange
It's a
County,
college-
California.
Yeah, like
Okay.
college
Yeah.
whores.
The OC.
yeah.
Okay.
It was huge for like 2 years. It was like massive. Then it just kind of died off towards the end.
They would never let me on that show. I
No,
wasn't
you
pretty
tried.
enough.
Oh yeah, that
I
would have
wasn't
been like
pretty
your
enough.
heyday, right?
That was
Yeah.
my heyday in the Los Angeles, the Hollywood days.
Hollywood.
You take the 101 to the 405.
He would have been the pool
I
boy.
fucking love those, dude.
It's true. It's true. It's fucking true. That's
What
right.
did
Just
you
bad
hear?
directions.
You would have been the pool boy having the affair with Melinda Clark. And what was it? Peter Gallagher was her husband in that or
What?
something. You would have had that big
He would have
fight
whooped my
scene.
ass, Peter Gallagher.
You could have taken Gallagher. I don't think he's that tough.
Oh, is this an acting?
Peter-
Oh, yeah. I'll knock his ass
No,
out.
Peter Gallagher has one of the greatest arcs in the history of Law and Order. The entire like universe. He's like the fucking captain or some bullshit for the like fucking New York fucking police department. But
Mhm.
sorry, he's very good at what he does. Is all I'm kidding.
Yeah, good. He's a good actor.
I like
He's good in anything I've seen him in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mr. Deeds.
Well, if he was so good, why wasn't he on NYPD Blue?
I don't know if anybody. The only thing I
Didn't have a
remember
role
about.
for him.
Yeah.
He never auditioned.
He was.
Zipowitz is the greatest TV detective of all time.
He has no sleeves.
Was I on NYPD Blue? Was Gary Sinise on NYPD Blue? No.
He dresses like Homer Simpson.
Jess, you auditioned for Pac Blue, not NYPD Blue.
Were you on his Criminal Minds? Is that what you're thinking of?
Gary Sinise's?
Yeah, because he wasn't he.
No,
on
but
one
I
of those-
worked on his promo for Criminal Minds, and I stood in for him at the new. It was like a spin-off to the original Criminal Minds.
Yeah, yeah. it did
Gary
laugh.
Panisse.
And I also worked with Janine Garofalo, who loves me, surprisingly. on
Say that
her-
last name again.
Garofalo.
Garofalo.
Garlic butter sauce.
She'll
Janine.
never let you walk her dog again, Jess.
She loves me. Her Criminal Minds spin-off. I worked on promos for. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
only lasted a season.
Oh wow.
And then I was on in the background of I can't even remember. I was at CSI, NCIS. I worked on. I did shit. I don't even remember.
Were you like a dead corpse in CSI?
No, I was a
or-
scientist in one of the. It was CSI or one of those things. 'Cause
I wish I
had
could
a
figure out how to become
badge.
an actor.
It's
Just
an
in New
Asian
York
guy.
City.
Yeah.
You were an Asian guy?
Well, my security badge. in the
Cancel
show was an
him
Asian
now.
guy.
Jess Graham doing
Yellowface.
I'm a
The
scientist.
Jess Graham story.
I was not doing Yellowface, okay?
I want to be in a Law and Order. So, but you have to be like a New York actor.
Yeah.
Like they joke all the time, but like every actor in New York has been in at least 2 Law and Order episodes.
It sounds horrible, Ben. He says I've been in so many shows I can't remember. There are things I do forget. I mean, I'm not in as a main character, but I remember seeing Tom Hanks say on a talk show that he almost forgot he was in Turner and Hooch. And I'm thinking as a kid, how do you forget being in something like that? But
That's a leading role.
when you do so much work though, that it's oh yeah, I think I did something on that. I did a day on that show, or
I can
something has to trigger
understand
the memory.
it for an Eric Roberts. I can believe he actually does not know, because I don't think he's cared about anything he's done in the last 25 years or so. But I think it'd be hard to forget a studio movie that you worked for months on.
Oh,
And
you'd be surprised.
yeah,
Well, a lot of them aren't really aware that they're doing a movie
It's so much drugs.
much of the time. Like, I mean, like Alice Cooper famously talks about there's a fucking 3 to 5 albums he has no recollection of making. He
Yeah.
goes, oh, okay, sure. Cool.
Stephen
And I think
King during his Coke days doesn't remember
Yeah.
writing several books. Like he has no
Oh.
memory of it.
Well, I've told you in the 80s, they literally, and this is not an exaggeration, they'd budget in cocaine for the crew under miscellaneous to like keep
Fuck,
them
that's such a
running
good
the long
idea.
shifts.
God.
I mean, even just working on small, shitty indie things, like sometimes like you're talking like a 16, 17-hour day, like especially on
Yeah.
something like that. I probably would have taken some cocaine had it been available, but
I don't know. I don't think I could work on drugs, even ones that are supposed to keep you going.
I couldn't act. There's no way I could do that and act
Yeah.
in any way. I could
Yeah.
do like fucking anything.
I don't know.
behind
Even
the
for me in
scenes.
production work, you'd be surprised, even on the below the line, at how much you have to be thinking and on your toes.
Oh no, I don't stop thinking. My God,
I
like,
do.
cocaine. All I do, it locks me up so I don't want to talk. But like I can operate, like I can check IDs and fucking beat the shit out of people. Like I could do that all night long. I had no problem with it. I could cook fucking and then run out and check IDs and beat the shit out of people. Like it all, I could do several things at a time.
You have a steak. I need you to get this list of 20 things, and you need to
but
take
if you
the
asked-
405 to the 101.
If you asked me to then, come on a show like this, I would have to pass. Because I guess it's good. I gotta turn the camera off.
No more cocaine for Sauce when he comes on the show.
be a suburban dad. Yeah, it'd be just hard to sort of focus on something, I would think. But I'm speaking as somebody that hasn't done it, but I don't know. Maybe it would help me. I don't know.
Now Billy chimes in again. That's it. Hollywood, Iowa, the meth there.
I feel like
I'm
Iowa
not a
would be
fan.
good. Like I don't want this to happen to you guys, but Iowa seems. I mean, you could do that with like Nebraska, probably Idaho too. I've never been there, so maybe I'm wrong. But you could turn one of those states into just like lots, just like different fucking studios. Like in yeah, you can't really shoot in the
Like they're
winter
doing
a
in
lot.
Atlanta. I mean,
But
Yeah.
I mean, similar thing. But I mean, if you got to do some shit like Fargo or whatever, like fucking film in the winter, beautiful.
fuck yeah.
It's going to, I mean, it's already not a lot shoots in California really anymore.
Yeah.
I think the business side of it, you're kind of getting to that point where it's going to start fracturing.
It's going to shoot everywhere. I mean, but
Yeah.
honestly, once you do move a place like that, look at Atlanta, shit's going to go up. They start realizing what you're doing, and Hollywood's there, and shit's going to get expensive as it is in Los Angeles.
Sure, it will.
Just
time.
while you
I
were
don't
out in
know.
California, they actually passed some law or something here for like tax breaks on filmmakers.
I was just
So
gonna
I don't know if
suggest
that's
they
still
do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I don't think we have great ones though, because people still always will pass it up for other states. I think Michigan has good tax breaks. North Carolina has good film tax breaks.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Georgia.
But this, I think every
Georgia.
state really should be looking to kind of set shit up the way Canada's got it. Like come here, we got tax breaks of all sorts for you, but you got to use some of our people. Like and that's kind of a fucking. It helps people get out of the middle of the country.
Helps their people get
If
the
they want
jobs,
to
but
be
it's
an
hard
actor,
then.
Yeah.
because it's hard to fucking be an actor in somewhere like that, middle of the country, and then well, I'm the best fucking stage actor in Boise.
Yeah.
Great,
Big
You could
fish,
only
small
go so
pond.
far.
but if it's I'm the best stage actor, let me give this production. Okay, well, I'm going to fucking Hollywood. All right, here we go.
Hollywood.
Seems like a good idea.
That
I don't
reminds
want
me,
to. I don't want to progress the show any further, so I'm going to
Jess,
talk about anything.
how did
but-
we forget? We're naming off all these celebrities, and we forgot your best friend,
Which one?
Tom Arnold.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Uh-oh.
Nah. That'll be another day. We're on. I think we've gotten off of Return of the Living
Well,
Dead.
Jake's still got to give us his
fingers.
thoughts on. Good, keep that up.
Okay. Can we see
Sorry,
Jake
Jake.
enough?
She's just fun to look at.
She is. God. 30 years ago, too.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And I even thought 93 sounded late for this movie.
Yep. Shot 92, came out 93.
No, I like this movie quite a bit. Yeah.
Jonathan
Dan's
Bombastic.
Dan's already said anything that needs to be said. So
I mean, yeah,
Jake,
you
were you walking funny after you saw this movie?
Yeah, you got to like do some tuck action there with this one if you watched it in the theater. I didn't watch this one in the theater.
Yeah,
You have to shop.
You're
at
doing it
Target.
wrong, Dan. You have to cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn bowl.
And then you walk out of the theater that way.
And if anybody asks, tell him he just had surgery. You don't want him scratching.
You walk out with your penis with your penis laying atop a bed of popcorn, almost like a diorama.
If it's long enough, you can recreate that scene from Killer Clowns. Just put like a little bobber on top of it.
Very
Like those things that they used to sell
Jack
for car antennas. Is that a whole industry that's dead now?
You
Or does
get
that still
the-
exist?
That still exists. You get the Jack in the Box thing, like put it on the dick head.
I know.
I'm thinking about a bobber tied to a penis.
Popping up to the popcorn. Anyways, how are you boys tonight? That was the first thing I said. So
That's great introduction.
Doing
There.
Oh wow.
Well, since you're here, do you want to give us your thoughts on the original trilogy of Return of the Living Dead 1, 2, and 3?
So yeah, I can give you a quick rundown. I saw the first one when I was like really young because Walmart used to do like an end cap every year, or like sometimes whole sections of DVDs. They put DVDs like in with the costumes and shit. And Return of the Living Dead was like every year there, $5. So like you just inevitably picked it up. But for years, I mean, like probably 10 years, I did not know there was a movie beyond that. And I think I saw Return of the Living Dead 3 on Sci-Fi and was very confused because this is nothing like the movie I had seen. Where's Linnea's Minge? It's not here. You know? Everybody left. This looks like an empty panel now.
I know. I was gonna do it myself just to fit in.
Yeah. But yeah, no. The first movie I have a great affinity for. The second one is a lot of fun. Sucks that movie, like forever, you couldn't watch it properly. I think that's fixed now, but
Yeah.
there was a good period of time where, like, if you wanted to watch that movie, you had to watch it with a bust-ass soundtrack.
Or watch it with the French audio.
The French, yeah. So you could turn on the French audio and the English subtitles and do it that way, but that was
That don't
just
make
as
no
bad.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
It was just as bad. But I
Well,
remember
I
reading
think
that. Go
Because
ahead.
I read that, and then like Christian, oddly enough, didn't know that until I told him. And I've searched for years for a reason, and I cannot find anything with any specific, even vague fucking like. Well, it wasn't. It was
So,
such and
did
such
you
a
read
reason.
it like when it came out?
I feel like I did, yeah. But then
Yeah,
as
like,
I've
that's-
looked at- I've revisited it over the years, but I've personally never found a fucking answer. So I
Like
don't know.
the only thing I saw on it is like that was all mastered for DVD, and they didn't think they were going to have an issue
Okay.
with the soundtrack, and then they ended up having it really late, so they literally just slapped it on that English transfer and then and sent it out.
I figured it
Yeah,
just came down to music rights, really. As
And
simple
that's
as that.
crazy. You know, now that now that you say that, I feel like Christian found that out, and I felt stupid. So now I felt stupid twice about it. But I hate that
no need to feel stupid. It's weird that we know that. Let's acknowledge that it's odd that we know that the original soundtrack is under the French language on the DVD. Let's pretend like that's a normal thing.
Yeah,
I think I only knew because of you guys.
I also hate that is the only reason. That is so fucking anticlimactic after all these years. We fucked it up. I guess it's it.
Fucked it up.
You know,
it's something that has everything you could possibly need, and I'm sure some of you guys have it. But complete history, like this has everything.
That book, I bought it like day one.
Yeah,
it was one of my the first purchases from my first job.
Is there a hardback?
No,
I don't think
that is begging for a hardback.
Yeah. They're not that expensive. You can still get a copy.
Hey,
There's
Jess,
the Kindle. There's a Kindle edition.
That poster up again.
Yeah.
Which 3 or
yeah,
more spank material.
I think we had this up here.
She's begging for a hardback.
Hey,
It's funny because my dick's
like cut it.
Coffee table book there, Kory. Not.
Just saying.
I'd have to get a coffee table to get a coffee table book.
Yeah. What an odd, outdated concept to me.
Books?
Yeah.
Books.
What? They got movies. What do you need books for?
Yeah, but now, like, in every store, books are replacing the movie section.
Isn't that fucking crazy? I
Yeah.
don't think that's a bad thing necessarily if they're good books.
Yeah.
What?
Then just
Another 20 years are scrolls going to replace books?
I would like that too.
That would be cool.
Make me feel elegant for once.
You'll
Without having to put on a dress.
Mikey, we missed you.
What's up, Mikey?
Man, brother.
Mikey,
breed,
son of a bitch.
Get
My
back.
favorite American local truck driver.
Yes, and that is true. Books are replacing it. It's a lot of YA stuff because there's a lot of teen girls that are that seems to be the focus. Like
that's
you look
dumb because kids don't read. Like they actively. I swear to God, it's like rabies somehow. The idea of reading will they will start foaming at the mouth. Like if you offered a dog water. Yeah. Rabid dog water.
But that's
so I don't know how these young adult women are girls. The little ladies.
Babysitters Club.
Hey,
how do
if
they
it's
even know to
physical
read?
media, it's hard to not at least be a little happy about it. It's like
I'm not happy about books, though. I'm just not. I don't fucking read. What am I, a nerd? Fucking knew you was a nerd, Jess Graham. Fucking knew it.
4 eyes.
Fucking nerd.
Hey, Jonathan,
Fucking nerd.
You better be careful now. Jess got pissed earlier, ripped his shirt off.
Yeah, he did. He tore.
Did you go Hogan?
Yeah, I went full on.
I don't know
Hulk
what
Hogan.
happened. I blacked out at the beginning.
Ripped
of the show.
it to pieces. I don't know what that was. But
This is what I get for not showing up on time.
You just
That's
never know
what
what's
you
going to
get.
happen.
The one thing I will say for books, just real quick, before we get into the greatest Return of the Living Dead films.
No, we're done. We're done. The Rumble's over. It's the last. It was the last movie. It was the last movie. Good night, everybody. That's Flesh Wound Features.
We can all agree we spend too much time on devices, electronics. I still like to read a physical book. It's a different experience.
And I don't want anybody to not be able to read a physical book. I'm just saying the amount of give a fuck I have for books is extremely low.
No, I'm with you on that.
Respect.
Yeah, no hate.
Not like I'm picking up a book.
Like, here's my thing. Like, books have a place. Like, there's like places like Second and Charles do very well. Bookstores, the goddamn library. You know, Blu-rays don't really have a place. If we had a fucking Blu-ray depository in the middle of fucking town, I'd be like okay with what's happening in stores, but we don't.
Hold on. The library is actually full of Blu-rays. Go to your library, and it's very likely they'll have anything you could want within their little network, which was probably all of the libraries in the county. When I was fucking like 17, 18, I just had a library membership and just rented like the entire first season of Saturday Night Live, countless random movies. They can get you pretty much anything.
Have you used the
obviously,
streaming
that goes
service,
for
Steak?
you.
They're better.
For the
They're
library?
the only
No.
thing you have video store like.
Yeah,
left.
so there's a streaming app called, I think it's Hoopla, and like most libraries in the country are a part of it, but it's free. You just have to have a library membership, and there's all kinds of fucking TV and shit on there that's not available anywhere else, and movies and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. I'll have to get into that then. Damn. But yeah, like I
But
don't
like
know
it
if
limits you.
a lot of
Like you can only watch like so much a day. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
that's fair though, I guess.
Mhm.
I get that. I think that's because it's like, hey,
I
we'll
think
give
it's a
you some
generous
bullshit.
amount of time. Like you check out something. Like you can't have two things out at the same time. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a better way to explain it. Sorry.
I like that.
That's
I'll have
cool
to look
though.
into that.
Well, going back before we go on to discussing things that think they're part of this franchise, I'll admit this is the DVD is what I own for the longest time. However, I did watch the movie several times on VHS before.
Jess, that's a cheap upgrade too, buddy, and it's worth it though.
The Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's a cheap upgrade. It can be had for like $12, dude. It's really cheap.
Yeah,
But the VHS did have the original soundtrack on it. if
It
I'm
did.
correct.
That only existed on that DVD.
Yeah.
Okay. That More Brains documentary, it has like the special feature, that like half-hour segment on part 2. That is on the Blu-ray. So like that's a special feature.
That whole documentary is on YouTube, by the way,
Oh yeah, that too.
in its entirety. It's amazing.
More Brains.
Yeah.
Check that out, fans, if you haven't. That is definitely a good documentary.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And
it's written essentially. It's kind of like structured the same way like Never Sleep Again. There's definitely creative DNA between Never Sleep Again, Crystal Lake Memories, and More Brains. It's not all the same people, but like it's that 1428 films, whatever the fuck. So
Well, no
it's
matter who
structured,
does
and
one
it's
now
also
for-
it's. I think
that
it's
should be the
also kind of
foundation.
that Gary Smart and the guys from the book Dan showed off. I believe they helped on that too. So
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
it's just as thorough. It's not. The book is incredibly thorough, but like they do a very good job for like a 90-minute. Pretty much all focuses on.
It's like a his name was Jason. Almost like a short form.
Steroids, though. Like it's shorter form only because like the feature is really just the first movie. But it's not fucking just randos giving their opinion though. It's it's all the important folks in and around the production. Because like that's a big gripe about his name was Jason is that there's just fucking like people that run websites fucking talking at length. People from like USA Net, like it's hey, you're in a thing, talk.
That was a fucking Stars. That was a Stars produced thing too. Fucking weird. Like, what was that about?
I mean, it was fine for before we had the actual proper documentary.
I mean, I ate it up, dude. I bought it on DVD like day one. I was excited for it.
Yeah.
But it's odd looking back that was a Stars thing. And then then they bought Anchor Bay shortly after that.
Yep.
Whole weird thing going on there.
When I saw it on cable on Stars, I thought it was great. And then Never Sleep Again happened, and I go, that was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Crystal Lake Memories is a fucking lot, though.
It is.
I mean, it's a lot. What is it, 6 hours? 6 hours and change?
No, it's 7.
Is it 7?
I think. It might be just under 7, but yeah, it's
a lot. But I think it does it justice. I don't think you could have any less.
It's to the point, really, where you don't need anything
How
else.
is that not on that fucking Scream Factory set, by the way? Like, that's
Because
it.
it's like 6-7 hours.
That is crazy. But
I mean, come on. What would it cost to license it? It's got to be pennies
yeah,
compared to what it was for the rest of that shit.
Talk to Bracky.
I remember when he used to. No, I remember when Peter Bracky used to just fucking write for, what was it? High Def Digest. Like before he was Mr. Crystal Lake Memories.
Mr. CLM.
Well, final thoughts on the original trilogy.
Part 3 is the best.
Ooh, no.
Yes.
Get out.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
It's a wonderful movie, but no. For me,
Yeah,
like,
no,
The
your
hottest-
freedom.
It's got the hottest chick in this franchise in it.
I can't really.
For me, the first 3 go in order, but I love all 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I like them all, but like 3 is clearly not even remotely the best one.
We
Like,
got
yes,
two
we
more.
Yeah.
We got 2 more that
So
can't be denied.
I haven't
we
talked
really
about
don't,
3
but-
yet, really. So
Oh,
I
you
want to
have? I'm
say,
sorry,
obviously,
Snake, please.
the love story is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
something that, as a kid, I was always. I think it's pretty clear. I was always the little fat kid, you know. Into girls early on, so like this was like, yeah, I know that girl and I'm fat. She hates me. This is sad. So that was nice. Like fucking. So all of the canister zombies look great. I think. The Riverman's decent looking. That fuck. Oh, well, we'll get there because my favorite. We'll talk about my favorite in a second. Obviously, Melinda Clark looks excellent before and after the transformation. All of the fucking gangbanger makeups look dreadful. They're some of the worst fucking special effects. Like
Yeah.
the one like the head that's just kind of like hanging on. Like, it looks. They didn't really even attempt to like make it any part of the human anatomy. It's just that's a fucking wire that the head hangs off of. So that's like very weak shit, but that the zombie that they're fucking with at the beginning of the movie, the gray-haired one that's like 7 feet tall, who was just some homeless guy that they paid to shoot for like a day or two, who apparently had a very giant penis that was hard to keep like contained on set. Like all of this shit is in that book. And I don't know. He's just his face terrifies me. Like that is another one. Another makeup zombie, whatever the fuck in this series that like is stuck with me. Like that kind of like fucking. Ugh. It's unnerving. And there, my buddy, John from the Scarecrow Show, he was in like cover bands and shit in Buffalo, and there was a sound guy named Joe Tall. Looked just like this guy. Like fucking the moment I saw Joe Tall the first time, like I probably was like fucking, couple shades paler, if you can believe it. But it's again, all 3 of these movies are very watchable. The first is like a masterpiece. It's cinema.
I agree.
2 and 3 are fun. They're kind of like yin and yang sort of as to like why they don't work. Meaning part 2 plays too much into the comedy aspect. It's too fucking hokey, too cheesy. And part 3 is too serious. And the tone doesn't quite get what you need. Either.
That's good.
Like there's a lot of good points. There's good pieces, but the tone is wrong. It doesn't fit, and it just kind of fails because of it. It's in a vacuum, not bad movies, but like as part of the franchise, they're like in blunt honesty, they're failures. They don't really work. But I love them. They're fun little movies in that.
No, I agree. Like it does not fit like the MO, and it's
of the fucking name, unfortunately.
Oh, I think the 2 and 3 are worthy of the name, but we'll get to ones that aren't worthy of the name.
Yeah, I mean, I think 1 is the all-time classic that I think will still be talked about, hopefully even after we're all gone. I think 3 is excellent in its own right.
If I go out the way I plan on, everyone will remember that movie.
That got dark. But I can see some charm in 2. Even though I'm not a huge 2 guy, I see some charm. But that's all I can give 2. It's in a different class than the other 2.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake's not here to give his final thoughts. Hopefully he's able to make it back, or he just doesn't even want to talk about these coming up. But I think we have to. Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis. I'm going to start us off because then you guys will state it very, very well. You'll have
it's not what
it to say.
Was originally going to be. I will say that though. So
yes. Was it supposed to be better?
Yes. There is a history behind these films.
So what was it? Was it 2005 when this was released? Necropolis?
Yeah, 05 is when I think they both came out.
Both are, but this is technically 4. And I don't even think I knew about this. Even
Sci-Fi Channel made a big deal out of that.
Well,
they pushed it. They did.
Yep.
I didn't have
released them both in October, like following weeks or following days or something.
Yeah. I waited because I knew they'd be edited on Sci-Fi. But yeah, they did push it pretty hard.
So I remember seeing this. I didn't watch it. It was on Sci-Fi. It's probably a year. No, I guess it probably was the year it came out. But it wasn't. It wouldn't have been like the premiere. It was when they just went, "Oh, fuck it, let's throw it on Saturday at 2." As they used to. I don't know if is Sci-Fi even a thing anymore. Is it still run similarly?
Yeah,
I don't know what TV looks like anymore.
Me either. I have no clue. That's why I asked. Like,
it's still a thing. It's one of the last channels that has something of an identity left.
Yeah,
but it is. Yeah.
Well, it is because like all the Viacom stations seemingly have just gone, we'll just play everything on because like the MTV Awards plays on every Viacom, like fucking Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Or they pick a show and they're like, Wednesdays we only show this one thing.
Yeah, it's all The Office.
Like is our programming blocks like a thing anymore?
Yeah, I could not answer that. I mean, I guess I do know that like CMT and Hallmark have, or CMT has Girls and Golden Girls, or Mom and Golden Girls. Sorry, on every night. But
Friends plays on like the Nickelodeon channels, I think. All night.
That's Nick at Night.
Nick at Night. Oh,
Nick at Night used to be fucking amazing. I watched so much shit I never would have fucking knew existed because of Nick at Night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good times.
Go back to when it aired.
Different strokes.
Dude,
those fucking shows.
Wow, those are.
I remember it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say those are more recent TV shows than what I was watching when I was a kid. It was
when I was watching Nick at Night as a kid.
The Addams Family,
Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Love Lucy.
Get Smart.
Yep.
Get Smart.
I Love Lucy would play. And then like Sci-Fi would have a lot of Twilight Zone shit on at the same because it was just like it was weird. For a while when I was little, I thought TV went to black and white at night.
Yeah, I could see that though.
After prime time, it was just TV was black and white.
No, you're right, dude. At like 9 p.m. in the 90s, they used to like shut TV down. Like if it was interesting, they took it off.
Yeah.
Dude, it is 10:30. You can't have something interesting on TV.
Well, you had some fun trash.
That was the best TV. It was that late.
Yeah, you had some fun.
Oh yeah, I guess. But I'm talking about cable. Like cable seemed to give up after a certain time. Network TV got better.
During the day, they sucked too. It was like that. Just prime time was the best.
I don't know. Nickelodeon had like several different programming blocks. that kept kids like engaged. So
I think they're
What
playing
was it,
stuff
like the
that's
after
10
school
years
thing? It was
old.
like Slime Time Live or whatever the fuck.
yeah, where they'd be like outside of Universal Studios
I
or
think it was
whatever,
like TRL,
and like
but
little
for
Romeo would come
cartoons.
in,
Yeah,
and they
little Bow Wow.
I was an old
Good
man. by
Lord.
then.
You guys are making me feel old.
fucking figure it out would come on.
Guys, I go back to when Nickelodeon was Pinwheel.
Summer Sanders.
Man,
I never knew about Pinwheel, homie. We were firmly into
Pinwheel?
Snick territory by the time I got there.
Mr. Wizard,
Yeah. He can.
the
he can
old
kick
guy who
Bill
would crush
Nye's
a
ass
coffee
any day.
can with a pitcher of water, just pouring the pitcher of water over the empty coffee can.
It's a rant.
Then later on, Wild and Crazy Kids.
I
We're
think
wild
so.
and crazy kids
Yeah.
with Omar Gooding.
Cuba's little brother.
Holy
Yep.
shit, dude.
Cuba.
Didn't
haven't
didn't
heard
Cuba
that
do
name since
a couple
the
episodes
90s.
of that?
Who?
He might
Jess
have, I
was a
don't remember.
Nickelodeon superstar. How do you not remember, Jess? You're a Nickelodeon.
I was not a superstar. I worked mostly behind the scenes. at
Super-
He's
Nickelodeon.
Phil of the Future. He worked for Disney.
That was Disney. But I did work for
Yeah.
Nickelodeon for a couple years too. The Kids' Choice Awards, Victoria Justice's show, Victoria.
Didn't you hold hands
Oh,
with Mrs.
no.
Seaver?
Mrs. Seaver, yes, she moved my body on the Phil of the
Oh,
Future
she
show.
moved your
was the
body.
director.
Jess
Joanna
Graham
Kearns?
fucked
Yeah.
Mrs. Seaver.
He
Well,
definitely
Jonathan
did.
just played the clip on, I think, his channel or something to where
Hold on.
the opening
Only
shot
if this
had-
was before Mrs. Channel. Otherwise, it didn't happen. I don't want
It
anything
was before
happening.
Mrs. Channel.
Nothing
It
bad.
was
It was
before
before.
Mrs.
He fucked her. He got her. He got her. She married a champion.
You better hope Kirk Cameron's not watching this. He's gonna whoop your ass.
Oh, I don't even know if he talks to those fellow cast
He used
members.
to.
He does.
The lake that I live on, I don't know, maybe it's just like bullshit that people around here say, but Kirk and Candace Cameron used to have they used to come here every once in a while as like a vacation spot.
That is the dumbest thing to lie about is somebody's line.
It is, but it's also something that some fucking hillbilly would lie about, and it would
Yeah.
pick up steam because it's only other dumb hillbillies.
Dude, I got Wild and Crazy Kids
I have
going on
to-
in the background right now. Y'all need to look at
Okay.
this shit
Well,
because this looks
this
looks so fucking old.
You blew my fucking mind when you said Omar Gooding because I haven't thought about him since the 90s. But like Smart Guy was one of my favorite shows.
I loved Smart Guy, dude. And when he showed up in Baby Boy as like that gangster, I couldn't take him seriously.
No.
Hey, should we
I don't
talk
like that
about
movie,
this
and
piece of
I
shit
like
movie?
And then just
Oh, I'm
You sure
sorry,
you guys don't want to transition to Wild and Crazy Kids because this looks lucrative?
You're probably right, Jonathan.
this
but
is how
I
it
mean,
ended. It
Omar
got
Gooding
dark.
is in a pink T-shirt right now.
I would rather watch Wild and Crazy Kids, no matter how dated it is.
I
There's a
forgot
launch
that I
along.
forgot about this show.
Where are you
I-
watching this? Is this just YouTube?
It is
or-
all over YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, check
I
that
wonder
out.
if because like Kablam is on Paramount Plus, and I
Mhm.
feel like I plan on giving that a shot.
I went back, dude. It's a rough rewatch, except for Prometheus and Bob. Prometheus
Well, so I
and
was
Bob
thinking
holds
that,
up.
Action League now would help. hold up
Action
pretty well
League
for me.
now.
Ah.
The Flesh.
Dan F. Troop, yes. You're almost as old as I. And Cole.
Dan, I actually had the entire series and actually sat down and watched the entire thing with my son, and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
What was it?
F
F.
Troop.
F Troop.
I did
I
not.
mean, it's an old show and it hasn't been in repeats, I think, in forever. But it was.
Let's just say it would not if people got a hold of that show now, there would be a lot of shit going on. People would be getting canceled for it. I don't know how many different white guys they got to play Indians and
Well, that was the entire industry back then, though. It's sort of like, well,
Dude,
I get it, but come on.
what I'm looking at here is just. You remember how Three's Company used to look in the 90s? That's what the 90s
Yeah.
look like now.
Yeah, it is that way.
Oh, God, this hurts.
God, I'm not
Guys,
even
it only
watching
gets
what you're
worse, you
watching.
youngins.
I'm imagining the 90s in my head, and that's all I see is the 70s. Like
Yep.
It's true. It's true.
Do you ever
Do you
think?
know?
like,
Do you know that they revived Wild and Crazy Kids in 2002? For
I did
3 months?
not.
What?
No, more. Yeah, 3 months.
I thought they just reran the same 2 seasons in perpetuity.
I feel like they did for a long time, but yeah, I guess they did that. I wonder if it was on Nick Gas, and that's why no one knew or cared.
I really enjoyed that when that first came out, dude.
It was cool when I got it, but it was like on like the highest fucking package. So like you could have like fucking all the movie channels and still not have Nickelodeon Gas where I was. So like I think we got like a fucking preview. I watched Guts and Legends of the Hidden Temple on
Those are both on Paramount Plus, by the way.
Guts.
Legends.
Double Dare was better.
Double Dare's good, and What Would You
They
Do
were
is
Double Dare
awesome.
Finders Keepers. What would you
Yeah.
do?
Dude, I
Nick
used to just-
Arcade.
It was like a
When I was
spin-off of
in
Double Dare.
preschool, we'd have orange slices, and I would just pop one in my mouth and run around the classroom like I was going through a maze.
I like
because
it.
thought the coolest people on the planet were the kids on Legend of the Hidden Temple.
The mouth
Yeah.
guards.
You're
I
not
thought you were
wrong.
doing a Godfather.
I wanted to be a part. What is it? The Silver Snakes, the Purple
Yes.
Monkeys,
The fucking
the Blue Barracudas.
Barracuda.
We
That
don't
was
have
my favorite one.
kids don't have stuff like that anymore.
No, they don't, because kids sit
Yeah.
on fucking iPads and watch short bus folk scream
their
over
houses. Yep.
Minecraft.
Yep.
Steak. This
Yes.
episode has commercials left in,
Oh,
and I'm watching the infomercial for Flexi Blocks. I forgot how much shit they sold us as kids.
gotta go.
Like,
Well, let's burn through these pieces of shit so we can get off the air.
yeah, so we can get off here and watch Wild and Crazy Kids.
There is some interesting history though.
Oh, how old is your son? 33. He's with his friends watching Wild and Crazy Kids.
He put on the shirt we got him for Little League.
Oh, well, who gets him when you guys die?
Stop here.
Yeah, just
Mom, I need more Oreos.
Mom!
we're wild and crazy kids.
Did you make that lasagna yet?
Mom, I need more purple ketchup.
I was just gonna say, can I get some Hawaiian punch, Ma?
There's nothing
Dude.
funnier in this world than hiding my niece's cell phone. It's like I don't know where it is. And just watching the meltdown.
I get it, dude. I mean, we talk about it like we're so much better, but if you would have handed me something half as fucking cool as a fucking smartphone when I was 10, you wouldn't see me for days.
It would
Like,
it would
I
be
get it.
Walking
It's-
Dead minus the zombies now.
I was an adult when the iPhone came out, and I had a fucking blast with it.
Oh, it's us as the adults' fault as far as
Oh,
the
for
kids.
sure.
and
Yeah.
how they use it. It's a
So I haven't made a kid from scratch. So I will take no blame in any of this.
Oh, Papa.
Nah, mine's pretty addicted to it, but I don't know, man. She's smart too, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. They get to see too much of the sad reality of life though with the internet.
They do,
Even
they
if
do,
you
but
watch
it makes them
so
smarter.
I
don't
It
know.
makes them smart, but it makes them so lazy because they don't care. It's like, well, who cares?
It also makes them a bit cynical.
Why do I have to? It does, but that's what I'm saying. Because like this kid hates school. He said it's stupid. I don't like it. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. You talk to his teacher. He's always one of their favorites. He's bright. He's happy. Blah blah blah. This, that, the other. You know. So it's like, what the fuck? Just do it. Just be fucking learn.
Learn. No, I remember it, Steak. It was like painful.
All right, Necropolis. I watched it for the first time today. I
Sucks
fell
dick.
asleep through the last 15 minutes. I hated every second of it. It was like a fucking shit. It was exactly a bad Disney Channel original movie.
Asleep is the best way to experience it.
Yeah, I tried.
Worse.
I really did. I told Kory early today or late last night, I don't remember, that I was going to try to watch them both. And I fell asleep long enough after work tonight that I did not get to Rave to the Grave. But I'm not really eager. Even with Christian really saying that I might like that one. I fucking really don't know if I'll get to it.
I definitely
might say
remember
it's better.
Rave. I remember Rave to the Grave more than Necropolis, but I don't think that means anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Uncle
You're right,
Charles,
Jonathan, it
piece
doesn't.
of shit actor, should be shot in the fucking head. I hate him. I hate looking at him. I hate hearing his voice. I hate watching him talk. The biggest reason I hate these movies is because they're dubbed very poorly.
Yeah.
And I fucking and it's like that is my biggest barrier for watching like Italian stuff is like the dubbing is like Demons isn't great, but it's one of the ones that I can sit through because Demons is fucking a great time, but like Zombie is hard. I've still never gotten through it because I fucking
It can be boring, very boring.
it grates on me. It's like I don't know, like I don't get far enough into it to see any of the fun shit. Like I'm it's like 15 minutes tops, and I don't care. But
Jay does
so I'll
say
get
Rave
there
is
one
better.
day.
I just had the most depressing high thought that I have to share with you guys before we move on.
Okay, Vernon.
The majority of these children I'm watching compete in Wild and Crazy Kids here are either well into their 40s or a good percentage of them are dead. There's like a
Or in
good
prison.
handful are just super dead, dude. Like that kid is
oh,
probably dead, like for
you
sure.
didn't mean
Or
currently, you meant like now they like. I thought you.
oh
meant,
no,
in
like
the show,
today.
they were
No,
just
these kids are
old
not.
children.
These kids aren't 40 here. I'm saying like
These are just Dominican fucking baseball
Yeah.
players that are like. I'm just trying to make a fucking bench warmers joke. It's not racism. It's not. I shouldn't have said Dominican.
But yeah, like that's all I was thinking. It's like how old these people are now. Or if they're still alive.
Well, I'm going to throw this up there too because I'm just going to talk about it all at once. Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave, Necropolis. I
hate that fucking tagline.
This one.
Dance till you drop dead.
That one is. I just remember it being really annoying. The characters are really annoying and very 2005 fratty. If you know what I'm talking about.
It did bring
I think
back
the blonde bitch that's in these. I think she's not the one that's killed with the fat man. The one with the glasses. I believe she survives the fucking the fourth piece of shit to go into the fifth piece of shit.
Yeah, she does carry it. Somebody does carry it.
I hate her.
Aside from the dude.
I wanted to break her fucking nose every second she was on the screen. She reminds me of like she would be cast in awful American Pie ripoff movies as like the Allison Hannigan role.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I get out of her, and I want to fucking make her head part of the wall. Sorry.
The problem with these movies, initially it was going to be something totally different, and with the budget, William Butler was he had contacted Tom Fox, who's the producer in charge of all of this, to get something going, and he wrote a really awesome script that was actually at one point planned to be like a $40 million big movie, but unfortunately it just didn't happen, and it ended up with Aurora Entertainment, and William kind of gets the boot, essentially, doesn't really have any input, and they slash the budget to nothing and then say it's like just make two back-to-back. They didn't care about the lore. That's why everything is kind of a clusterfuck between.
Well, I was going to
4 and
ask you,
5.
did the original script stick to the lore of the first 3 movies? Because like you get these, like they can shoot them. They're like more Romero zombies. You can shoot them in the head.
I've never
and they
read
die.
I've never read the full script, but from what I understand, yes, it was very William Butler's a legit horror fan, and he did respect the source material. So whatever you would have gotten, and who knows, final product, you never know for sure, especially with the horror movie, but you were going to get at least an attempt at a proper sequel. The weird thing about these movies is, I mean, there's like moments. Necropolis is weird because they actually spent some money on the soundtrack because you've got like Power Man
Oh my God.
5000.
But you don't
That's
care.
not
until you
cheap,
think
They have
though.
Godsmack.
No,
Godsmack.
no, it's not. I wasn't
Yeah.
like. I mean, like I don't like the music, but like 405, yeah, that was money.
That was up there, dude. Like that was.
But I had
yeah.
to laugh
A
though that
lot
they
of
played that Godsmack song, "I Stand Alone,"
Yeah.
as a group of kids are getting ready to infiltrate a thing. So none of them are standing alone. I don't. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't because like there's like an extended part where I thought they just like fucking erased "I Stand Alone" out of it.
Yeah.
So just like the music plays and there's no words for just too long, but then it kicks into
Yeah, there's a lot of
And-
weird things because, like, even
and
the
it's just
zombie
doesn't make any fucking
couple,
sense.
like, they look cool, but they're not really in it very long. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is more Universal Soldier than fucking Return of the Living Dead, but then they're just
Was.
gone.
Yeah.
It's like a big buildup, and it's like there's no payoff. I mean, 4's pretty rough. There's some decent effects here and
So-
there, but it is rough.
Can I tell you the moment that I completely checked out?
If
And I was
Necropolis-
like, of that, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I kind of dealt with them getting shot in the head and dying because I figure I was kind of expecting it to happen, and I don't think it did. That it's like, well, it's not 2,4,5 trioxin, it's
Mhm.
whatever 2,4.
Well, that was the best
Some-
excuse
some-
you could get for
some
them being able to kill
variant
him.
that
Yeah.
would do similar, but then you kill them differently.
It's tracks of
Um,
5 or something instead
Yeah,
of 2,
whatever
4,
the
5.
fuck, like something like that would have been cool. But even though that moment never came, whatever, it's fine.
I mean,
It's
they didn't
zombies, I
explain it,
get
but technically that's what the trioxin is in those movies. Is a different number
yeah, okay.
in these late, but they
Well,
don't
then-
they don't
then
really make
perfect.
it clear.
I think that's yeah. Okay, they definitely could do that, but I think then that's explained well enough. But I
But it's
I
stupid.
just checked out entirely the moment, and I guess it can all be explained the same way.
Sorry.
when they started tearing dudes apart and like ripping the fucking guts out and going after them, can we at least say that these zombies only ever go after brains? Like, at least keep that fucking little bit of
yeah.
They didn't, the bastards.
originality, like because they started that way. It was that way for the first fucking third to half of the movie. It was head bites, pretty
Yeah.
decent looking ones actually. I was kind of
Yeah. They just
Um,
like whatever.
surprised, but
Script sucked.
Yeah.
yeah, but then they start ripping it like fucking.
It's
It was clear,
Aurora.
it was a clear like rip off of like
Yeah.
fucking Dawn or Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
But-
another B regular
Or
zombie
homage,
movie.
I
It was
guess,
not
I mean.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that could have at least given it a little. God damn it, I can't talk. A little more respect, I guess, to fucking the movies that came before it. As little as that,
It
may
would have made a
actually
bigger
matter.
difference if they kept to that lore. It really
Yeah.
would have. I don't think they would have been great films still.
No,
but
no, they would have been flawed.
I don't
'cause,
think
like,
we'd
I
have
can
I would
see-
have the hatred.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because I could see, like, because I was thinking about it as I was watching it. It's like, it's hard to write a movie when your monsters really can't be destroyed. So, changing the chemical so that they can now be shot in the head, it's maybe a little of a cop out, but it's easily written in. And okay, cool. Now we have a way to go. We
Total
can
cop out.
just got to keep fucking. But at least it's I'll buy it and just go. All right, it's hard to fucking write a movie, as I said.
It is,
but
but it's not Return
it's
of the Living
definitely a
Dead
cop
then, because that's the whole
Sure.
treat of Return of the Living Dead. You can't kill these fuckers, even a shot to the brain.
You also had Don Calfa that was supposed to be in the Peter Coyote role,
Oh, that would have been so much better. That guy
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
I was like he upset me whenever he was on screen. His mouth
better
is
in other shit.
confusing. I don't know. I don't recognize him from anything else, but I despised him in this movie.
Yes.
And not in like what a bad guy. Like it's bad act.
So this may be lower on your guys' list of atrocities in this movie, but the fact that a bunch of teenagers just all of a sudden break out in kung fu.
this in
I
Rave?
thought I missed something, so I refrained from bitching about that because I thought maybe I'd missed a part where that was explained. Because I assumed this is some weird like
Yeah, no, they just
military
all of a sudden become
community.
Power Rangers and start kicking
Yeah,
everybody's ass.
Okay, so I thought maybe I missed something where they explained, well, there's just some kind of like military fucking like pseudo country that the kids are all fucking family members of people that are in the program. Like I just did shit in my head that I guess I missed the part where they said this because that makes all this shit make sense. So I did the work for them, and yeah. So yeah, it's fucking that is dumb, Kory. Please.
No,
I
Just
thought I
curious.
missed something. Thank God. Yeah, it's awful. That is.
Well, most of you found this on Sci-Fi, well, except Steak maybe, or if you watched it originally back in 2005 or around then, you probably watched it on Sci-Fi. I was in Hollywood Video, had no idea about this. I didn't see the Sci-Fi announcements. And I look up and I see, a new Return of the Living Dead movie. And I'm thinking, fucking, I've been waiting for this. And it hadn't been that long because I would really just been into these movies the last 5 years. And so I was excited as shit. And of course, I don't even need to tell the rest what we all just talked about the last 25 minutes, half an hour. I was so fucking disappointed. I don't even know why I gave Rave a chance after that. I think it's just being a completist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I tried to like it a little better. You could say it's a little better movie, but it's still just as fucking shitty. You had Tarman, like Ben Grimm saying, that was like maybe a slight positive, that cameo, but it's just they shouldn't be in this franchise.
In the 2000s, dipshitted direct to video kind of way, Rave has its moments. I mean, obviously,
But
it's
not as a Return of the Living Dead movie.
No, and I mean, at that point, it was just like nothing makes sense between this and 4, anyways. So I think you're a little more open to just roll with it because like, okay, I'm not gonna get the dream film in my head. Yeah. I mean, part of the issue too was like the production was a mess. Like the director of photography on the Necropolis was apparently like a gigantic asshole. So it was like a very stressful set. They didn't know how to work with the Romanian crew. There was a lot of problems.
I feel like that was. Yeah. Didn't this happen with Hellraiser like 10 years before?
I don't know.
Or is it not that far back? Was it? But it was like, similar kind of Romanian production. They tried to do 2 movies.
Bulgaria, yeah.
Yeah, they did that. The same thing. It fucking just blockheaded
Pumpkinhead
assholes.
Too. But I would argue like the 3 and 4 for Pumpkinhead, better movies, actually had a decent story at the very least. They had CG issues with Pumpkinhead, but much better movies than this. Like these 2, there were problems even beyond not having any money.
Yeah. And if you're going to make this is my last thoughts on it. If you're going to make another one, I don't want a remake. I hate remakes. You all know that. You guys probably disagree, but try to get Tom Matthews back, go back to the original lore, and at least I don't think you're going to have a hated movie unless you try to remake the first one.
Do you want me to crush your spirits with what I know about the upcoming one?
Yeah, that probably is not what they're going to happen, but go ahead and tell us.
I mean, so far, and I mean, this is out there. It's not secret or anything. It's a news bit you can look up, but I forget the name, but it's the guy who made Kill Her Goats, which is a piece of shit.
Oh, God damn it.
And Muck. And all he said is it is going to be, I guess, canon with all 5 films, which is a very bizarre thing to say.
That's impossible.
Yeah, I don't know how either. It's a very generic, just like, yeah, we're doing it kind of deal, but certainly I would not expect it to be going theatrical. So,
so that doesn't sound like a remake then, so I guess that's great.
I don't think so.
But
yeah.
I mean, Christ.
Not a good director.
Christ.
I wasn't. I saw that little piece of shit Freddy in Space announce it, and I like that's where I saw it from. And I'm fucking like,
Mm.
I don't like him anyway. And then he's bringing me this news, and I thought some real bad things. I don't want to say them on air.
I understand.
Yeah. I mean, we can hope for the best, but if you're like me and saw some of the like direct to video Night of the Living Dead movies because they could use the name,
God.
that might be what you're looking at in terms of
Okay.
quality. We can hope not. We can hope
You know
not.
what?
But
If it is 30th anniversary edition of Night of the Living Dead, levels of bad, maybe it'll be all right to watch. Like all
you mean
the added
3D?
footage. Yeah, no, all
yeah.
that added footage from it was like a 98 release.
Mm.
Something I rented from the library quite often. As a kid, I thought all that extra shit was so cool. That fucking those preacher scenes, and then the cemetery zombie kind of coming to life.
Mhm.
It all looks so. Like, I was still around the time where all movies were just beautiful fucking works of art.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now it's very different. It's so bad.
Crap.
Yeah. We always have the first one and the third one and the second for some. So they don't go away just because we get shitty
It's true.
follow-ups.
And then I'm more as I get older. I don't get as angry. This one's touchy. It is my favorite movie of all time.
Mm.
Horror or not, but so I don't want it touched. It doesn't need to be touched.
No, even
I'm
if
with
you
you.
did
There are so many shitty movies that can be remade into something worthwhile. Why touch shit that was actually good? I just don't fucking understand that. Like, you have a chance to reclaim a fucking property and you milk a good one so that you can never really get anything nice out of it again. It doesn't seem to make much sense.
And you can say that about sequels too, but I would still rather than put the same name of the original masterpiece on on a movie.
Yeah.
Just do another fucking sequel if you've got to milk that franchise, a franchise like that.
Because there is it's erasure. I should when you type in Nightmare on Elm Street, it should only be one.
Yeah.
It should be
1984
or 2010.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. Night of the Living Dead shouldn't have a remake. Now, I love that remake, and I know why they did it.
Yeah.
But it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be remade. But
realistically,
great.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think if you were to do a sequel, you do a sequel to 3 because there's not enough interest for 2. Number 1, I mean, like you said again, like there's too many people now that are dead. 3, maybe you work something where Melinda Clark didn't die,
or you do a sequel to 1, 2, and 3, like 2 and 3 were, and it's kind of its own story, but it has that total essence of the
I don't think you can recreate the essence from 1. I think you'd have to go off 3 and just make a scary, nasty zombie flick. I don't think I would even attempt it. Like, if somebody told me you could have it any way you wanted it. No, I mean, even if I did a dream cast, I could not replace that original cast.
No,
like even
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just
couldn't do it.
It does feel like I'm just my favorite. It's my favorite, but all of these people were cast perfectly. Like even John Philbin, who's got what fucking 4 lines.
Yeah.
It needed to be him. Fucking.
There's
Scram
roles.
wimp.
Yeah. There's roles that we all love. I mean, we all love Robert Englund, but there are other people that can play that. Say Jason, of course, like we all love Kane Hodder, but there are other people that.
But I mean, like Ted White did it good before him.
Sure.
Derek Mears has done it well after him. Fucking Kane Hodder is far from the only guy that can do that.
What actor are you going to get to say it's like, okay, we want you to be Bert?
Yeah, you can't, so don't try.
No, I don't want.
Don't.
I don't want. I don't want another Bert in there. I don't want a sequel like that.
Yeah.
And again, I honestly don't want even Tom Matthews coming back to play
So-
either one of those roles.
All right, so no, you know what? Actually, I was actually going to say just the opposite. I feel like Tom Matthews could kill James Karen. Something in me thinks
I
he could
get
really
ya.
nail that. He could fucking nail that, and I almost want to see it. So he's the one that's kind of the corpses.
Let him play a character like that, though, but don't give
Yeah.
him
I
the
don't-
James.
you know, his
Don't give
doesn't
him
have to be,
Burger
but, like,
Ernie or
No,
Frank.
give him the beats. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Let him be the fucking older. You know,
That would
fuck,
work.
call him whatever. Like
Give
call
us
him
that
Freddy.
movie.
I don't care, but that would be kind of cool, I guess. If you're gonna fucking give me some new bullshit movie, give me that piece of it anyway.
Here, here.
Dan,
on
get
that.
me the number for that piece of shit director. We're gonna have a talk.
I think Tom Fox is dead. Who has the rights now?
Well,
Who does have the rights now?
the piece of shit director has got
Oh
him now.
no!
I
But
think on those notes, I mean, final thoughts, if you have any. I think we've said our love and our hatred for most. Kory,
Yeah.
did you even talk about the last two? We
The
all
last
on it.
two, yeah, I'm the one that pointed out the Power Ranger.
Oh yes.
bit.
Yeah.
The fighting.
Yeah. I did not get. I seen 5. Actually, I rented 4 and 5 at the same time, and recently rewatched 4, and
Sorry.
it's definitely, in the bottom 2. But yeah, I don't remember much about 5. So I think my biggest beef with 4 is not my biggest beef, but I thought it
your
sucked. You didn't. There weren't. I don't remember there being any titties. So no nudity. That's a big minus for me. So
Well, everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging as usual. Our regulars, you had Ben Grimm there, you had Billy, you had Cliff Booth,
they're all
Yeah.
going to watch
Mikey and Jay, and they're all going to watch Wild and Crazy.
Nickelodeon.
Blu-rays, Jamie, and if I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm sure we at least said your name once, but thank you all. And going around the room, what's coming up on Flesh Wound?
We have some wrestling guests coming up. A couple really cool wrestling guests. We will be having, of course, live from LA content coming up at the end of next month. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm on Goraphobe's channel tomorrow night talking about the I Spit on Your Grave movies. So you can check me out there. At RegionFree on the 13th.
Mr. Steak Sauce is off the grill coming back. Been on hiatus for the summer.
Well, RegionFree will be coming back on Sunday, August 13th. We'll be there.
There you
As
go.
for your other question, Jess, time will tell.
Okay. Now, you did do an episode over on S'mores Indoors
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
of your podcast, which
I believe that is the last episode of the podcast
I believe it might.
for now. I'm
Okay.
not done,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Scare me.
I don't know when. I'm just not feeling it. So
I don't think you're the only one right now in the
We
streaming
eagerly
community.
anticipate your return and Kory's return as well, which is coming.
Yes, it is. And we will be actually doing something similar, as we said earlier, over on S'mores Indoors next month. Horror Rumble will be in Cable Channel 11. We'll be popping over there to host a special. So check that out. Jonathan, anything? You got any new plans for Bombastic Reviews or your other channel? If you're, he's watching Wild and Crazy Kids.
he's gonna launch Wild and Bombastic Kids.
Oh God, that doesn't sound right. But
It's a
And Jake,
Dan Snyder production.
Jake, who is over here at Slaughterport. I mean, of course, again, their channel links will all eventually be in the description here. Follow them, keep watching them, even if it seems like nothing's happened at the moment. I'm sure more will come. And Kory, what are we doing here?
Well,
What do
we just finally
Something new
launched-
on the channel.
added something new. Kory's Dead Time Gories. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, I hope you enjoy it. It's just going to be short, little anthology horror stories. So take it for what it is and just enjoy it.
Take it for what it is.
Sweet.
No. And definitely enjoy it. And we'll, of course, be back next month with another Horror Rumble. I think we're thinking about Sleepaway Camp franchise because it's August, summer still, finishing summer.
I book it. That's what we're doing.
Ooh.
Okay. That should be an interesting one, the Sleepaway Camps. And, of course, you never know what's going to pop up here. We've got hopefully some specials. Steak and I had talked of a new radio play type thing. I'm not going to give it completely away, but that's not gone away quite yet. I've started editing something if he's still interested. So.
Yeah, that is a lot of me having to figure out and not be lazy is to get that formatted correctly.
Jess, you're not editing your sequel to the Killer Shrews script, are you?
Oh no, that
Okay.
I was told that was awful.
Are you doing like
that sounds like a good idea. It couldn't be any worse than Llamageddon.
That it was back in the day. I was trying to think of a low budget movie that had a name behind it that was public domain. That I was thinking, oh well, we could do a sequel to this, and it was in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
and
they
I thought,
beat you.
Killer Shrews, let's do a sequel.
They did one, Return of the Killer Shrews.
That's what it was called. Or Return to Shrew Island, I think is what I was calling mine.
I was gonna
That's what I
say
was
they
calling mine.
got you.
Oh well, that's why it's like fucking Billy and the
stole it.
Clonosaurus.
Somebody took my script out of the trash can and made it.
Yeah.
Billy.
Oh, you never throw anything away, Jess.
I get angry. I throw a lot of things away.
Those are my manuscripts. No, those are my screenplays. Don't touch those.
It's like Matthew Joseph Peak, who drew all the Nightmare posters. He got angry and ripped up the original once, and his friend kept it, and it's all taped together now.
That's
Anyway.
not funny.
It wasn't. I laugh now. It was tragic. He's still got a little piece missing out of it. And this is the original. He painted or chalk drawn, whatever. Anyway, come back next time. We love you all. And
Iris loves you.
yes.